What's up guys? Welcome back to the Nurse Nook. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Alexis Nicole and I make videos all about nursing, lifestyle, and wellness. I decided to do a get to know me video for all of my new subscribers. If you don't know me that well, if you just kind of check in on my videos here and there, or if this is your first time ever watching, I feel like I haven't done one of these in quite some time, so I just wanted to reintroduce myself. And I wanted you guys to get to know me a little better because I pride my channel in being very casual. I want to be a resource to my community, so I want everything to feel really lax, and I want you to be able to get to know me, why I do what I do, and what my purpose is here on YouTube. So for starters, I made my channel back in, oh my gosh, was it 2016? That sounds forever ago. I think I made it in 2016, but I didn't start posting videos until 2017. And so I made my channel when I was in nursing school. I was just a little tater tot, and I used to eat up content on YouTube all about nursing everything. Literally any nursing related video out there, I promise you I watched it. And one day I ran out of videos to watch. I literally was rewatching videos. I was obsessed with learning, and not even learning, I was obsessed with just watching the lifestyle of nurses and what to expect. I loved watching like vlogs of students in nursing school. I just loved all that stuff. So I watched pretty much every single video on the topic there was out there. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I make my own videos? Like, why don't I try this for myself? And I was like, if just like 2 people watch my videos, I will be content. And I was so shocked when I got 100 subscribers, y'all. I was like, no way 100 people, 100 strangers are actually like watching my content and are actually like interested in my life. Fast forward, I reached 1,000. I almost dropped dead because I was like, you're kidding me. Now I am over like, I believe it's like 270,000 subscribers, which is insane. I can't believe that many people like tune in to watch my content. I am so grateful. But my whole purpose behind this channel was to give other nurses, nursing students, anyone that's interested in the medical field, honestly, any girl ever that just wants to kind of like see what a nurse's life is like, that is who I make content for. And I'm so glad you guys are here. And if you've been here along for the journey, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Like, you have no idea how much it means to me. But I see a lot of new faces around, so I just wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So I asked on my Instagram for you guys to leave some questions for my Q&A. I always say this, but I post on Instagram very frequently. So if you want to stay more up to date on what's going on in my life, or you just enjoy my content and you would like to see more, definitely check out my Instagram. But one of the first questions I got, which I feel like is a great question always for anyone in any kind of field, is what made me want to be a nurse? And if you've been here for a while, you probably have heard this story once or twice, but I will tell it again. So growing up, I was obsessed with babies. I literally was that girl that used to carry around a car seat with a fake baby. Everywhere I went, to the grocery store, I would put it in the car, I'd buckle it up. I would be that girl. Literally, instead of taking me to the toy store like a normal kid, my parents would take me to the baby store, and so I could get real baby items for my baby doll. Like, I was so serious about babies and motherhood at a very young age. So fast forward, I'm in high school, and again, I always had like this obsession with babies. I just loved baby content, all things babies. That was like my jam. That was my passion. So I think I remember it was like my sophomore going into junior year. It was summer. I was staying up until like 4 a.m. surfing YouTube, and I would literally, I'm not even kidding, I would be watching YouTube videos on like newborn essentials. So I started getting into this like vortex of like newborn content, like the best must-haves for newborn babies, day in the life of a mom of a newborn, like all of this newborn content, right? You would literally think, if my parents like saw my YouTube search history, they'd be like, is this girl pregnant? So I was just a weirdo, and I was eating this content up. I loved it. And at the same time, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. You know, it was coming up that I would have to start thinking about college, and I had no idea what I wanted to do at this point. And I was the kind of person where I like to know where I was headed. It gave me a lot of anxiety to like not know what I wanted to do with my life. So literally every day I'd be looking up, in between like my newborn content, I'd be looking up like top 10 jobs, like highest paying jobs and blah, 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 blah. For a minute, I thought I wanted to do business because I saw that was like a high paying job. And I was like, well, I don't know what else I would do. I don't have any other talents or passions. So I probably just do something business. Thank God I did not go down that path. But long story short, I'm scrolling through my newborn content and I see a video on the side that says like newborn NICU nurse. And I'm like, what is that? A little backtrack. At one point, I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. I was pretty set on that until I discovered they had to dissect cadavers in medical school, and I was completely turned off. So I was like, that's out the window. So I saw this NICU nurse video and I watched the whole video and I was obsessed. I was like, this is my path. This is my purpose. This is everything I love. I can do like medical stuff. I can work in the hospital. I can be a nurse and I could still do like the baby stuff that I love. Are you kidding me? Like, this is a dream job. So from that moment, I was like, I'm going to be a NICU nurse. That's all I want to do. So I went through college. I went through nursing school. I did all the nursing stuff and then I graduated nursing school and I ended up starting in the ER. So what happened was, during nursing school, there was almost no information on NICU babies, NICU nursing. It was all like adult, geriatric, even some pediatrics, but there was almost no information on NICU nursing. And you go through so many different clinical sites, areas, units. And so I had experienced the ER and I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane. It's crazy. It's hectic. I kind of want to start here because I was afraid that if I started in NICU that I would basically waste all the knowledge I learned in nursing school, and I felt guilty kind of going straight into NICU and like not have any background knowledge on anything else. Looking back, now that I know I always wanted to do NICU nursing, it honestly wasn't necessary for me to do ER nursing at that time, but I felt like everything that my professors were saying, I felt like it was necessary that I got some kind of other experience just so I knew for sure that NICU nursing was what I want to do. But honestly, everything happens for a reason, because had I not started in ER, it would have led me down a totally different path, and I'm almost confident I would not have ever met my current fiance. I've only ever had one fiance, this is the only one. But had I not started in the ER, I would never have probably moved to Texas. We probably would have never worked together. There's so many things in my life path that would have changed dramatically had I not done that. So everything happens for a reason. Even though I started in the ER, I always knew that I wanted to do NNP, which is NICU nurse practitioner. So I knew I wanted to be a NICU nurse, that's for sure, but I knew that I wanted to go back to school. I was very, very ambitious always. Even in nursing school, I knew that I would be going back to school someday to become a nurse practitioner, and I was pretty set on becoming a neonatal nurse practitioner. I thought my timeline would be, I'd work for 2 years as a NICU nurse, I would go back in my NNP, and then I'd be an NNP by like 25 years old. I'm now 27. I'm just now starting the program, and honestly, everything happens for a reason. I think everything is right on time. I don't think I'm delayed. I think everything fell into place beautifully. So yes, I ended up doing adult ER. From there, I did pediatric ER/trauma, and then from there, I did postpartum. But I will say, by the time I was like 6 months to a year in the pediatric ER, I was like, okay, I am done with this. I am ready to get into NICU. But that unfortunately was the time that COVID started happening. It was not easy for me to get into the NICU at that time because nowhere was hiring, and the places that were in high demand were kind of like, you know, taking people only with NICU experience. So I was like, I don't want to stay in the ER any longer, but I need to do something to get me closer to my goals, which is why I did postpartum. I did postpartum literally just to help me get to NICU. But yeah, long story short, I literally just wanted to become a nurse so that I can be in the NICU. And now that is a reality. And honestly, I don't have any desire to do any other field of nursing. I've seen like quite a few. There's really no other avenue that I desire to explore at this moment, except neonatal nurse practitioner, which even though it's in the same field, it's still a different role. But other than that, like, NICU has my heart. This next question I got is one of my most frequently asked questions. People ask what my ethnicity is. So my mother is Cape Verdean, so I'm half Cape Verdean, and my father is Puerto Rican. And so that is my genetic makeup for those that are wanting to know. So another question that I got is, was moving states as a nurse difficult? So this is another tidbit about me. I started working as a registered nurse in Orlando, Florida. I worked there for about a year. I lived with my parents during that time. I was able to save up a good chunk of money. And then from there, I ended up moving to Houston on my own. People always ask, how is Houston as a nurse, working as a nurse? Do I recommend it? I will say Houston has the biggest medical center in the world. So the amount of opportunities here for nursing is outstanding. Also, they pay way better than Orlando, Florida. So I got a really big pay increase moving over here, and the cost of living is very comparable, if not way better than Orlando. Again, things may have changed. So if you work in Orlando right now, don't come for me, but this was my experience starting there. I can tell you with 1 year of experience moving from Orlando to Houston, I got a $12 an hour pay increase, which is literally like a part-time job. Granted, that was including my night shift differential, but still, like, that is a good amount of money. But yes, I moved to Houston. I have been here for over 5 years now. I absolutely love it. I bought a house here. I now have a fiance here. It's safe to say I'm not going anywhere. But I think the experience was so liberating, honestly, to be able to just pack up and go and explore a new city. I did live here in high school for 3 years, so I was a little familiar with the area, but I lived kind of like 40 minutes out from the city, so I never really experienced like Houston, but I was kind of familiar with the surrounding areas. But I decided that this was like the best move for my career. I was antsy for something new. I no longer wanted to live with my parents. I wanted to start a life for myself and kind of just take advantage of my 20s. I was young, I had nothing but life ahead of me, and so honestly, why not? If you are contemplating moving somewhere and starting a new path, if you have nothing tying you down, absolutely do it. I do not regret it at all. It worked out beautifully. The process was not difficult for me. Switching my license over was not very difficult at all. I didn't have to like retest or anything like that. It's just some like simple paperwork. It really helped with my confidence. I feel like it gave me a sense of like independence that I survived this. I decided to get up and start a new life for myself, and I did well, and honestly it was just a great experience overall. So if it's something that you're thinking about, I absolutely say go for it. Another question is where I went to college. So I got my undergrad or my prerequisites done at Florida Atlantic University, FAU in Boca Raton. I had a great time there. I met some of my best friends at that college. It was an amazing experience. It was kind of close to Miami, so I did get a little bit exposed to the party life a bit, and I was just having a great time. I am from a pretty strict household, so I didn't really get to experience a ton in high school. So when I got to college, I'm like, this is fun, this is a great time. But 2 years into that, I realized I'm not as serious about school as I should be. And if I wanted to get into nursing school, I was gonna have to make some serious changes. So after my sophomore year at Florida Atlantic University, I decided to move back home to live with my parents and to get serious about school, because it was really, really eye-opening to kind of see that, oh my gosh, if I don't get it together, like I'm never gonna go to nursing school, and what am I gonna do with my life? Like, this is unacceptable. So I did a total complete rehaul. I retook a couple classes at a community college local to my parents' house. I was able to apply to a concurrent BSN and ADN program at Seminole State College in Altamont Springs. I was so ecstatic when I got that email. I literally cried. Like, y'all, you guys have no idea. I really felt like I was never going to get into nursing school. I had seen so many people talk about how difficult it is. And if you don't have all A's, just like kiss that degree goodbye. And I was definitely not one of those all A students. So when I got that email that I got in and I'm going to be going to nursing school, I was like, thank you, Lord. I was at dinner with a bunch of people and I was just like bawling, crying. I was so happy. That is one of the happiest moments of my life, that and getting engaged. Like, so thankful. But the program that I went to with Seminole State also was working with UCF, University of Central Florida. So I got my ADN from Seminole State College, and then I got my BSN from UCF. Honestly, the program was really good. I think it was awesome that I could get those both like knocked out at the same time. I graduated with my BSN like 2 semesters after I had my ADN. So I was able to start working as a nurse while still finishing my BSN degree. It was amazing. I would definitely recommend that program. It wasn't perfect, obviously. There's complaints about everything, but I think I got a great education, and I love the way they structured it that I could do both at once. And I think that was very unique and very doable. The final question I'm going to answer is what made me want to go to grad school. Like I said earlier, I have always known that I wanted to go all the way as far as my education. I'm not talking about doctorate. For me, master's degree is more than enough. I don't need the doctorate at this moment, but I feel like getting a master's degree is more than enough achievement for me. Most people don't even get that. So for me, that was like reaching for the stars. But I always knew that I wanted to be a provider. I thought that would be something of a huge accomplishment. I really love the role. I love the role in the NICU. I love that you can work at certain facilities that do 24-hour shifts. I really just loved everything about neonatal nurse practitioners. And again, a lot of the motivation for going back to school had a lot to do with like personal hurdles and thinking. I previously was not super confident and didn't think that I could do certain things. And so for making that goal of me to go back to school for my master's and becoming a provider was kind of like a goal of, if you do this, you can do anything. Like, you are your own worst enemy. If you believe that you can make this happen, you absolutely can. And so it was almost like a benchmark for me. Like, if I set my heart to this, I can do this. If God laid this on my heart, it's because he believes in me and that he's gonna see me through, and I will conquer. So all of that packaged in one, I was like, this is just for me, I have to. But that's all the questions for this video. I hope you feel a little closer to me after this Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in next week's video.